everybody. It's Stephen and Walter in Oz. Still. Okay, this is going to sound bad, but I don't know if this trip's ever going to end because I'm pretty much tripped out right now. I kind of want to go home. I'm almost looking forward to the flight. Almost. I'm not looking forward to the flight. Well,
it's a necessary evil.
I'm tired. I am tired. Are you not tired?
Yeah, I am. But I mean, I guess we know that the end is coming, so.
The end is near.
It's like winter is coming.
Yeah. So anyways, we're here in Sydney again, where we started from. Back in the same hotel we were in before in Sydney, the Meriton. Different room. This room, and you'll see I did a little video. It'll be on here.
Crooked.
Well, who cares? I mean, really?
I get uptight when we're that way.
Yeah, but you don't seem to have a problem with the car.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. You put
I
it
get uptight about the car being.
Oh, do you really? Because I try to tell you you're not straight, and you go, I'm straight. No, you're not. You're not supposed to go that way. But whatever. We'll talk about that in a minute. Anyways, we're in the Meriton in downtown Sydney. And, yeah, we got here. Well, on one of the videos you'll see today, I talked about that we were heading towards, we're going to stop at a fabric store that Walter discovered online that sold Aboriginal fabrics and that kind of thing. And so we put that into the GPS and we followed that, and wow. Needless to say, we didn't get there.
I think we got to the location, but once we got there, it was super busy on the road, and we didn't know where to park.
There was nowhere to park. There were cars coming out everywhere, and it was like, this quilt store, if we had seen it, was situated on a street with all kinds of other shops and everything else there. It was a busy part of the city.
Even to get to the last turn I had to make to get to where it was supposed to be, I had a hell of a time turning because I ended up turning into a bus lane because the traffic was so busy.
Yeah, and you had to force
and
its way into
I was
traffic.
making the equivalent of a right-hand turn. I was making a left-hand turn, which is the same as making a right-hand turn in North America. And there was just traffic coming and coming and coming. I didn't know how I was going to get it. I had traffic behind me.
Needless to say, there was a lot of panic, and I was looking on the street where it was supposed to be. We did not see any sign.
I didn't. So I was trying to pay attention to the road, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it. There was a Woolworths there, which is a grocery store, and it could be that it was a little shopping mall.
Yeah, because they hide their shopping malls.
Yeah.
You enter into little shopping malls from a street, and you look at it and you think there's nothing here. This isn't a shopping mall.
Yeah.
But they're buried inside behind the buildings, like it's all built into a complex kind of a thing. So anyways, we just know we weren't even going to try and go around the block because there was no parking anywhere. It was
Philippa said to us in Brisbane that in Sydney, they have narrowed the streets so that they can get more cars, more lanes on the street. And yes, she was right. The lanes were really narrow.
It's amazing we didn't scrape anything off the car.
So anyway, I said, let's forget this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So let's try and get to the hotel. Wow.
And then the screaming started from me because I've got it plugged into the GPS, but Walter doesn't believe the GPS. He'd rather go a different way.
Well, see, the thing is, he's got it written on his phone. It's written in directions, right? But on the GPS on the car, you see the little line as to where the traffic's supposed to go, right? The street. He's telling me turn left, and the GPS is showing me to turn right. And so there were a couple of spots where
the light just came on. I figured this out. On the GPS, on what you're seeing on there, it's following with, where the point is. It's following, you are the point here going like this. On my phone, it's the opposite way. So when I say to turn left, no, that doesn't work. That's not what it's doing. Never mind.
No, anyway, it'll say things like ease to the left. When sometimes the road curves, it's going to the left. sometimes it's take a slight left, and it's actually meaning to go into the left-hand turn lane.
Yeah.
And there were some areas that were easy to miss, so I did miss a couple.
Yeah.
And then it started rerouting us, and actually the final one, you were telling me to go left, and I went right, and luckily I did because it was right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Was
it
it
was,
really?
because we ended up on the highway to go. If we had not made that turn, we would not have ended up on the highway.
Well, I'm not sure
Yes,
we would
it
have.
was.
I don't know. I have great faith in the
And
GPS.
no, I didn't have faith in it.
No, because you don't believe anything anybody ever tells you. You have to do your own thing all the time. Well,
Anyway, we got here.
we got here in one piece. And we're not taking that car out again until the day that we're going to the airport.
I'm kind of tired of driving here.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
Sydney especially.
I'm kind of tired of watching and screaming. Yeah, and thinking any moment's my last. But anyway, so yeah, we got here.
I mean, even if I was driving in this city and I was driving my normal right-hand side in North America, it would have been.
It's a
bad
terrible
too.
city to drive.
And
in.
not only that, there's a lot of construction going on. So there's like the GPS may not exactly know that there's construction there.
Yep.
And there's like one spot where I had to turn left, and there were cars squeezing next to me because I was blocking the way because they decided they had enough room to squeeze by me to go somewhere.
Yeah. This city to drive in is horrible. It makes driving in downtown Toronto a breeze.
I didn't find it was too bad in Brisbane,
No.
but in Sydney it's pretty horrendous.
Well, part of the other problem is the way the city's infrastructure goes. There's streets that do not run parallel.
Not only that, there's tons of one-way streets
Oh yeah.
because Liverpool is one way, Pitt Street is one way going the other way, and
These are the streets our hotel is
Yeah,
located
yeah.
on.
and the one we're on, Kent Street, goes a different way.
Yeah.
So you have to go around the block, and if you miss your turn, then you're going the wrong way down a different street.
I can definitely understand why when we were here last, they were starting to build this tram system through the middle of the city. And now it is built and it's there. And I bet you the people who live in Sydney are very happy for that because they don't need their cars as much. But there's still tons and tons of cars. Now, maybe if you lived here, you came into Sydney often, yeah, you'd get used to it, you know where you're going. But when you're an outsider and you're driving on the wrong side of the road, as far as we're concerned, from North America.
Well, it gets also confusing that, see, when you're on a one-way street, all the lanes are going the same way. So if you're on a one-way street and even though you're supposed to be driving left, you could be in the right-hand lane. So.
And the other thing too is their traffic lights here, although not bad, they do make sense. They might throw you off a little bit.
Actually, the traffic lights I kind of like in that if you're going to make a right-hand turn or even a left-hand turn, there is a green arrow that points you to where you're going. Whereas at home in Canada, you don't have that.
No.
In most cases.
Well, we have usually like an advance or a delayed green with maybe an arrow in it. But meaning that, after the traffic going straight through has gone through or before, the green arrow will come up pointing you this way so you can get across, make a left-hand turn or right-hand turn. No, left-hand. It's always left-hand. It wouldn't be right.
Well, for us, a left-hand turn for us in North America is the same as a right-hand turn.
Yeah. It gets confusing. Okay,
I mean, driving on the left sounds really, really, really scary.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do it, it sort of falls into place as to how you have to turn. I still remember, oh, come on.
Okay, if you say so.
I'm the one that had to drive.
I had a little bit of darker hair here. I don't anymore. It's gone. Completely gone. Look at his is falling off already. No, Walter did a good job of it all. I couldn't do it. I can't. I would not be. I would freeze. I would have an accident. There's no two ways about it. Because as it was, I was panicking every time he goes like a shoulder.
Yeah, see, one of the problems about driving in the city, I'm concentrating on which way to go. and then I begin to drift over to the right, to the left-hand side, because for some reason, you're like, I'm used to a North American perspective where you're sitting in the left-hand side of the car, right? And so your passenger's next to you on the right. But in these cars, you're sitting on the right-hand side of the car and your passenger's over here. So I'll have a tendency to drift over to the left-hand side.
And I have a tendency to.
And in
imaginary
Sydney,
drive.
the lanes are really skinny, so
Yeah, you
you
already
can't
said that.
do much.
Yeah. So, anyways, we got here. Nothing broke. We're okay. We're fine. So, what did we do then after we got here? We got settled in the hotel room. I had to go into teacher mode with the staff because we were told when we stayed here at the beginning of our trip. See, the parking is supposed to be, they listed it at, when Walter booked the hotel, at $60 a day. It's a lot for parking in here, okay? You know, we're spending, like they're right now, 5 days here. That's $300 on parking alone, right? 6 times 5.
Yeah, and then the last time we stayed, they had a special here that you could pay $20 for all day parking type of thing, right? And I only needed the parking for one night the last time, right?
$30.
No, $20 when you see it on the sign that you come in.
Okay.
Right? But then I booked it for the one night, kind of expecting to pay $60, right? But the girl behind the counter said, "Oh, it's a special."
Back up. You didn't book it for one night. You booked it for, you're talking about the first time when we came to Sydney.
When we first came to Sydney, I didn't have anything booked.
Okay.
Okay? So I went, and then I knew that the rates were $60.
Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Because we only needed the parking for one night because we didn't have the.
Yeah, we picked up the car
Okay.
the Thursday, and we were leaving the Friday.
I'm catching up.
Okay, so the girl at the counter, I said, "Okay, I need parking for one night," because I parked downstairs. And she says, "Oh, okay, we're running a special right now. It's $30 a night," right? Because it said $20 for parking when you drove in, right? It said 20 today too,
Yeah, okay.
right? She said, "But I don't know if we're gonna have that special when you come back," right? So, but if we were still having that special, then it'll be $30 like it is now, right? So we drove in, and it said actually $10 when we drove in for day parking, and just now it said 20, right? Just like it did last time. So they're trying to tell me that it was $60 to park
A night.
here. So, and Steve went into mode and said, "Well, last time we were told it was 30.
Well, now I realized why I went into the mode, and that maybe I basically got something that we probably shouldn't have had, because I forgot when Walter's talking right now, this gets complicated. I forgot we only needed parking for one night because when we arrived in Sydney, we weren't getting the rental car until we were about to leave Sydney to go make our way up to Brisbane. So he's talking the special for one night of parking, and the girl had said about, oh, well, she didn't know how long that special would be on or whatever, but we could get it. She said, what I heard that day was, but just let us know and you can get parking at $30 a night when you come back here. That's what I heard. I'm not sure if that's what she meant, okay? And I'll be honest, here's why. She had an accent. It's not an Aussie accent. It is an Asian accent. I have a whole lot of trouble with Asian accents. So, and they talk very rapidly when they're explaining something to you, and they just move on to the next thing real quick. And if you don't question or stop or slow them down, which is painful because they look at you like you're an idiot, and I get enough of those looks from Walter, I don't need it from the help, okay? And so anyways, they're talking here that it's going to be $60 a night. And I said, well, excuse me, but when we were here, we've already stayed here on our trip, at the beginning of our trip. And we were told then that it was $30 a night, it was a special, and that we could get that same special when we came back. That's what I was told. Oh, well, the poor guy at the desk also Asian, did not really know what I was talking about, but he went over and he got the manager. And she tried to explain to me, which I did not understand a word, and I said, well, yeah, okay, but here's the thing. We were told that. I wasn't letting it go, okay? It's the difference of $150, basically, for it. And, you're paying enough for the hotel room and the whole bit. And I have a thing about these hotels that charge for parking anyways, like hospitals charge for parking and everybody charges for parking, no. Anyways, I went into teacher mode. And I think I scared the bejesus out of her because, of course, I got that look I get on my face that I don't even know what that looks like when I do it. And I wasn't yelling at her, but I was being very, very firm. I wasn't letting her pass me off as, meanwhile, numbnuts over here, he was already going. I knew where he was going to go. He wanted, well, it's okay, it's fine, like that. And good thing he didn't, because I'd have to go ballistic on him too. Because no. You just don't cross me on some of these things. Anyways, we got it for $30 a night, saved $150 with it. So yeah, squeaky wheel gets the oil. Now, I did say, and then she said, oh, no. I said, well, what, you mean one night? We go, and the rest of the nights? She just, oh, no, it's all the nights. I went, oh, I said, then I thought, okay, now I can lighten up.
Yeah, no, she meant if next time you stay here.
Yeah, well, we won't be for many years, if ever again. But I said, okay. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I misunderstood you. And smiled with it, but we got it. So, again, there are those of you out there going, my God, you're a bastard. I am. Proud of it. Many years in the making. Okay. So anyways, we got it all parked and everything. Got up to our room. The room is fine. I took a video of the room. And we went out. First of all, we were hungry. We made a poor choice. Well, it was okay. We'd been to this kind of place before. It's called Grilled.
Yeah, Grilled. It's a chain here, and it's basically a fancy burger place, right?
Well, I wouldn't even go as far to say it's a fancy burger place. It's a burger place. It's not McDonald's. It's much more sophisticated than McDonald's, and they serve beer and stuff like that too and everything. And
I guess what happened was when the first time we were in Sydney, we went to one of these, right? But we went to one on a different street. And that one was very nice. That I remembered anyway.
Well, that wasn't this trip. This was when he said the last time we were in Sydney. He means 5 years ago.
5 years ago, and we went to one that was a little in a different part of the Sydney, and actually it was pretty nice. And they had beers on tap in that one, right? And that's what we thought we were getting into when we went to this other one, right? And this other one wasn't quite as elaborate.
No.
And they didn't have beers on tap. They had just bottled beer. And their tables weren't great, and it was not.
And the service was a little slow. Now, mind you, to be fair to them, it was sort of the lunch hour rush. It was around 1 o'clock. The place was very busy. And you do order your food when you come in. You order up front, and they'll bring it to your table and everything like that. So we just both got a burger. Okay, the burgers tasted okay.
Yeah, actually, they were
there was
pretty good.
Nothing wrong with those. I think the thing that really put me off was their French fries, their chips. We only got a regular order of them to split between the two of us because I have found these days I can't eat that many French fries anymore. God, I sound like my bloody mother. I'll just want a couple of fries. Okay, this happens with age, I guess. Anyways, and you could order a sauce, a dipping sauce. One thing I've got against Australia is ketchup. They call it tomato sauce. It definitely doesn't taste anything like North American ketchup.
Well, it's not Heinz.
No, it's not.
It's tomato sauce, and it comes in a really different bottle.
And right now I'm sounding so American when I say that kind of stuff, even if I am a Canadian. Well, it's not American, it must suck. it's not Canadian. It must
Well, you know what's
but-
weird, because like we've been to like McDonald's all over the world, and not by choice, but you know, you happen to be in the place, and that's it's familiar, right? And they have ketchup all the time, and it's the right ketchup. I don't know if the McDonald's here has the right ketchup.
I don't know. We never tried. Did we get?
We never got ketchup with the two times we were right.
That's the other thing too. You have to ask for ketchup if you want ketchup, or tomato sauce as they call it. In that it's not automatically just there. At least any of the places we've been to, it doesn't automatically come. And I have to admit, I do not see a lot of Australians with ketchup.
Hey, when the other day when I had breakfast at the Ridges in Tamworth,
Yeah.
remember they gave me a bowl of tomato sauce?
Yes, they did. They did bring
I didn't
that.
try
You
it.
didn't ask it, but yeah, it's not horrible. It's just different from what we have.
And sometimes they call it tomato relish.
Yes, which puts up a whole different vision in my head when I hear that. But I mean, that's just a cultural thing. It's like that's when in Rome, eat the tomato sauce. So anyways, but they had these other sauces you could get, dipping sauces, mostly mayonnaise based, which in Europe, eating your French fries with mayonnaise is very popular.
In Holland especially.
In Holland especially, but it has come to North America now too.
Yeah.
I mean, you will go into some restaurants now, at least even in our area, and you can. It'll either be on the menu, you can ask for it, or whatever. If you want to do mayo on French fries, I still like ketchup. Mayo's okay.
I like it once in a while.
Yeah, for something different. So we got two different flavors. We got one that was an herb mayo, and the other one was a sweet chili mayo. I did not care for the herb mayo. I don't know what herbs, they didn't say what herbs they were using, but to me, I don't know, you seem to like it.
I liked it.
It just seemed a weird taste. Now, the sweet chili one, I didn't mind it. That one was okay.
And that one I didn't really care.
But here, so there you go. But here's what killed the French fries. And I know it's a personal thing. I hate coated fries. You know the ones I mean? They come with some kind of crusty thing on them.
Yeah, it's supposedly to make them more crispy.
Yeah,
But
I do not like
it's
those.
like there's residue on them.
I don't like them in our own country. I don't like them here. If I had known that that's what theirs were here, I would not.
Well, they called it herbed fries.
Well, they called it. They have with their herb salt.
Yeah.
But no, the herb salt wasn't the problem. It was those fries were not. It wasn't that they had crusted them in herb salt. They had whatever. They're seasoned.
They're almost like they're battered, but they're
Yeah.
not. Right? It's like they're lightly battered.
I'm sure many of you have had those before. Lots of people like them. I'm not one of those people. And
yeah, I'm not fond of them either.
So, and with that, and the combination of the little meals we got, I mean, I didn't eat many of those fries. I didn't care for them. Sorry. I mean, maybe I'm picky. Well, I am with it. But anyways, not what I was expecting when we went there, but the hamburgers were good. They were fine.
Actually, they were pretty tasty.
Yeah, they
I
were
thought,
tasty. Yeah.
Compared to, we were complaining the other day that some of the food here is very bland. It's very,
I don't know how you use that word.
it's very tasteless almost. Like they're not using any spice
Yeah,
at
there's
all.
no.
However, the hamburgers that we
They
had
were-
today
they-
actually were
They had flavor.
tasty.
They had flavor to them. So, anyways, yeah, little things, right? So we had that, and then we went off to Kohl's. Kohl's is the competition to Woolworths, the grocery store. It's called.
And the only
Kohl's.
reason we went to Kohl's is it was in the same
It's kind of close.
area as the burger
Lounge.
place that we had.
So we went there to pick up a few things. I'm telling you, their grocery stores, I don't know if it's, well, no, I don't find our grocery stores as so, there's a lot of people in them, but they're everywhere. I can't turn around without running into somebody. Now, maybe it's because I'm not familiar where stuff is laid out in the grocery store and I'm trying busy to read the signs above and stuff like that, but it just feels congested. Now, it is a big city, so it would be. I think it's probably more or less, it's just me.
Yeah, it's just that, and unfamiliar brands that
Yeah.
we're not using.
when you're looking for stuff. But there's always somebody ramming a cart up my ass down there, or hitting me with their shoulder. Their
Yeah, it
bag
seems
or-
like the same person keeps running into you.
Yeah, there was that one guy I thought was doing the loop.
The guy the other day, not today, but there was one the guy the other day that had little round glasses on, and I swear he kept running
Yeah.
into us on purpose, right?
So, anyways, we got some stuff there. We brought it back up here to the room and dropped it off, and then we decided, okay, well, let's go for a walk. Let's go down. Walter wanted to go to the gay district. So we've been there before. The last time we were here here when Mardi Gras, which is the gay parade, their version of it was here and that. So we knew where the area was. It's not far from where we are staying, actually. And so we went down and looked around. Things had changed a little bit down there since the last time we had been there, but that's what happens. There was a restaurant we were kind of keeping our eyes open for because we went there one night back on the last trip. And the fun thing, the guy who runs it was an older man. And if you've ever seen La Cage aux Folles, okay, then he looks like a character right out of La Cage aux Folles. And on top of it all, when you order a drink, they give you a number to call. There's a bottle store, a few.
Yeah, there's some restaurants here in Australia that are not licensed, right? Or they can't sell liquor. So what they'll do is, I guess they have a policy that if you, a BYOB policy.
You can bring your own.
Yeah.
And they charge you a cork each. Now we do have that in Canada, although I'm not.
So the last
never
time,
used it.
So that restaurant that we went to, they had all this wine listed on their menu, and we said, well, we'd like a bottle of this wine, right? And the guy said to us, yeah, well, we don't actually
stock it. We don't have it. We're
We don't have it.
BYOB.
We're BYOB. So you'll have to phone this phone number, right? And order it from them, right? And I think I had a SIM card. But I was unfamiliar unfamiliar with dialing the phone numbers in Australia, so I asked them if they could do it for me. And they did, and sure enough, a guy from the liquor store
A few
came
minutes later.
and delivered 2 bottles of wine, because what happened was they had a deal that if you bought 1 bottle, it was so much money, and if you bought 2 bottles, it was only a couple of dollars more.
Yeah. So this
So
guy
we had one bottle that we drank and one for the road.
Yeah. This guy came in and delivered our bottles. We paid him, and off he went. That was a little weird. Anyways, we were looking for this place because I forget what we had to eat that night.
It was Italian.
I think
it was actually very good.
It was good. So, and this guy that owns the place, he was entertainment and unto himself. Like, again, if you've seen La Cage aux Folles, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So we looked for it again, but it's not there anymore.
No, it's not there anymore.
It's gone bye-bye. Which, things changed in 5 years.
5 years,
6 years.
And we had a pandemic in the meantime.
Yeah, and everything like that.
The man that owned it was not too young anymore either, so...
he may have retired or died.
Yeah.
One or the other. So anyways, we kept trundling down. Now there is a bar there that we'd been in before called the Stonewall, not to be confused with the Stonewall in New York City. For those of you who might know that reference. But it doesn't really open until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We were there a little early for that. And it is Friday night, and so everybody's having a happy hour or two. And even though it's dark here right now, it's only 5:49. So we went up, and we did find another place, and we took some video of it. A little more posh of a bar. But we had a beer there. We had schooners. Schooners are slightly smaller than a pint. And then we decided to wander further down, parts we'd never seen before. And I made the foolish mistake of following Walter's guidance to do that, because then it gets always into scary parts of town. Wasn't that scary?
Scary.
Not scary, but it was
There's no scary parts.
Okay, there's none of that I think there is. But anyways, so we came back up. So we ended up back down in the part of the district where my nephew and his partner took us that night for dinner when we first got to Sydney. And there was a little bar where we'd gone in for drinks before dinner and then went there for after dinner drinks as two with them. So we went back to it. It's kind of cute. It's kind of quiet. There's nobody there except us. Of course, it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But they have a little balcony area, and you could sit out and look on the street. So we decided to upgrade from beer to wine. And so we had a couple of glasses we only had 1 glass each of Shiraz. The guy that was there, same guy that waited on us the last time, I don't know, I wonder if he actually owns it. Because he was talking about, he says, yeah, if you're here next week, I'll have some better wines to choose from. He says, I'm getting in a shipment. He says, well, we won't be, but that's okay. We'll take what you've got on that. And it was fine. And so we sat there and thought, well, okay, I'm tired. I don't know.
After the grueling drive.
Yeah, that's true. But I
thought I'd take it easy tonight.
Yeah.
And then I'd could maybe wander around out to go out one evening and
and do the town.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever that means for us. Means bedtime at 7. But for me, not for Walter. But anyway, so we stopped. We got a couple of pizza slices that we're going to eat after we're finished with this right there. We have our own wine, as you can tell, and it's an evening in for that. Plus, it is Friday night, and everybody's doing their little happy hour, and I think things get a little wild downtown in Sydney. Okay, so anything you want to add about today?
No, I'm just glad we got to the hotel in one piece.
Yeah, so am I. Believe me. Did I have to get out and direct you into the park? Oh yeah, I did.
No, yeah, you did. You helped me get in the
I'm
hole.
getting red cones. This way, that way. Anyways, yeah, we're here. So, stay tuned on here. I'll put up the video that we took today. There's not a lot of it. You'll probably be happy about that. And yeah, we'll see you again tomorrow. So once again, we're on the road and we're on our way to Sydney, the last part of our travels, returning to where we started from. But we have a few days in Sydney once we get there. But before we get to Sydney, we're actually going to try to go to a fabric store, to a quilting shop. It's called Fabric Garden, and it's in a burb of Sydney. We have it plotted in here to our GPS, and yeah, we'll see what we see. I think Walter, when he looked it up, said their fabric looked like it averaged about 27 Aussie dollars a meter, which works out to about 24 something Canadian. So yeah, on the higher side, price side. But you did say that it looked like they had Aboriginal, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, actually, that was for the Aboriginal fabric.
Oh, that was for
I don't know what the regular fabric costs there.
Okay. So we'll see with that. A little diversion. We're trying to time our entry and back into Sydney when there'll be the least amount of traffic, if there is such a thing as the least amount of traffic, because there's construction downtown in Sydney and it can get a little hairy, so there'll probably be a lot.
Plus, it's all one-way streets.
Yeah, so there's probably going to be a lot of screaming on my part. Yeah, we'll get there. Okay, we've made it back to Sydney, and this is our room here at the Meriton. Again, we got a suite, so we'd have cooking facilities, washer, dryer, all that kind of stuff. Have a nice balcony this time. It's an enclosed balcony, which actually is kind of nice because the evenings are getting cooler here or whatever. And Walter's in the bathroom, little dinette here, the living room, television, bedroom. Yep, this will do. It's fine. Had a little conflab with them at the front desk about parking in terms of what they were going to try and charge us and what in reality they should be charging us. And so, yeah, I had to do a little teacher move, but that's okay. We've got it now at the price they had quoted us back when we stayed in this place when we first got to Sydney. So that's okay. Still a little shell-shocked. Walter does not believe in necessarily following the directions from a GPS.
Yeah, but if I hadn't ignored you, we wouldn't have gotten you.
Yeah, right. Well, we
If
tried.
that last turn I turned on, and it turned out to be the right turn.
Well, it was a lucky guess.
Yeah,
more
well,
than
the
anything.
last 2 turns before that, you told me something else, and it was the wrong turn.
No, I told you
Yes, it
something.
was.
You didn't do it.
No,
You didn't follow
I
my
didn't.
instructions.
No, I didn't. You're a liar.
I am not a liar. You just did not follow the instructions.
You're a liar.
You have one job to do.
No,
Drive.
no.
My
I
job
know
is to
which
tell
way
you where to
turn.
go.
You say this way.
I'm
and
telling you
turn
where to
down.
go. I'm not listening to you. You'll have to talk to the hand. Anyways, it was horrendous, but we managed to get here in one piece. We did not get to that fabric store I mentioned earlier because we don't know if it exists. Because once we found the street and we were there was no place you could park because it was a busy, busy street. Lots of little shops on it and everything, and we did not find it. We did not see it. So we thought, the hell with this, we're going to get to the hotel room. We are not removing this car from this hotel until the day that we need to drive to the airport. Well, so yeah, that's the end of that. So now we need to get something to eat, and more importantly, I need to get beer because I want beer right now. So this place is called Grilled. That's what the menu looks like. And it's basically a hamburger place. You pick the type of bun you want. You pick your kind of hamburger, and then you can order chips with it, that kind of thing. It's pretty basic stuff. We have been here before, not on this trip. One of our other trips, we came in here, and it's okay if you want something relatively fast or whatever. And you can see it's very popular. Of course, we're here pretty much at, well, it's 1 o'clock, so it's maybe lunch hour for some people. Okay, so our order arrived. We both got a bacon cheeseburger kind of a thing here, and one order of fries and a couple of dips for the fries, and a couple of beers. They didn't have draft, they just have it in a bottle here. Yeah, it's okay. How's the burger taste?
Actually, it tastes good.
Tastes good? Okay. Yeah, it's not really my style of dining here, but that's okay. Okay, so we are in the central part of the gay district in Sydney. As you can see, flying the flag. Just made that into a quilt. Haven't got a quilty yet, but we'll have soon.
Let's take a walk in and look at
Okay.
it.
So we thought we'd stop here at this bar and have a beer. And this is called Kinsella's, and it's definitely a gay bar. Very nice one though, because it's kind of a little bit upscale. Not what you often find in gay bars. They tend to be a little bit, well, a little dingier, let's put it that way. Walter's having a beer, looking at his phone. This is the beer I had. Actually, these are schooners. These aren't pints. Schooners are a little smaller than a full pint. But still, they're like a fair amount of beer.
They're like 3/4. Actually,
Three-quarters
they're
of
more
it?
like, they're like 3/4 of it.
Oh, yeah. So we decided to go for a little walk in a part of Sydney that we've never really been down. This is Oxford Street, which runs right down to the main core of the city. But I thought the architecture was interesting. It says 1902 on it. So I thought maybe you'd like to see that appearance architecture. That's the place we went and had a drink in, Kinsella's. This building right now, we're not sure exactly what it is. Walter thinks it might be the courts. We're not sure.
Well, some part of it looks like it says National Art School, but that might be in behind it.
And so what's it say about the front part of it?
Didn't say anything about the front part.
Oh. Well, it looks kind of, I wouldn't think an art school would be in something like that, but then again, who's to say? Here we go. Mystery solved. Is the Darlinghurst Courthouse. Yeah, that makes more sense than an art school. This is an interesting building as well. It says over top of it, police station. I don't know if it's still a police station or not. I suspect it is not. It's probably utilized for something else. But that, I do not know what it is used for. So, full circle. We're back in Sydney, and the first night, or after the first day we were here, that night we met up with my nephew and his partner, and they brought us here.
So
Thank you.
Then we end up having.
I was right, we just have the Strauss.
Okay,
That's fine.
But if you show up next week,
We
I
won't
have
be
a
here.
bunch of equal ones.
Okay, thanks. So we're having some wine here at the Long Goodbye, and this is where, as I said, we went with my nephew Harrison and his partner Jack, and full circle back here again. And across the street was where we ate that night as well. Now it doesn't look like much from the outside, but the inside is fairly nice. It's small, it's quaint. The food that night we had was pretty good. They have pizza and they have pastas, things like that. And yeah, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't look like much from outside, but the inside's better. A little bit more of the architecture.
But like, what is it like a restaurant?